Here comes the news with a twist and a grin. Stephen Allen diving in again. Almost daily, but always sharp. He'll hit your brain like a lightning spark. Stephen Allen, almost daily. Laughs and facts, served up plainly. Your dose of wit, it's never shady. Stephen Allen, almost daily.
Well, hello, and welcome to another Stephen Allen Almost Daily. Credits to Proper Memes for the AI intro. This AI really, I would say it's replacing people's jobs. No one gets a job on this show. Really, you should see the amount of money coming in on it. It's nothing. But it's replacing jobless people. Is that a good thing? I don't know. We'll get into that on today's show. So welcome along. I'm Stephen Allen. It's Almost Daily, the streaming podcast thing where we look at various news stuff. It's already kicking off in the comments. If you'd like to get involved, go to youtube.com/ at Mr. Stephen Allen, and you can watch the live stream and partake in there. We can see what's happening in the comments, actually, what we've got going on. They're making sandwiches for each other. I feel like I'm missing out. Moving over here. Joodle's in there, saying that HP is the king of saucers. Fair enough. Is that a compliment? It's better than being the... You don't want to be the prince of anything right now, do you? Yeah. And they're talking about having a bacon sarnie, which should be abbreviated to a Barney. People having a Barney in the comments section. Now we're just like everything else on the flipping internet. So anyway, more of that later. We start off with a quick look at the front pages, for which we actually have this.
Headlines.
Yep. Headlines. It's rapidly becoming my favourite bit of the show. For half an hour to say the word headlines. Front pages of today's newspapers. Only a few to go through. If you want my in-depth analysis about all of the front pages, you should have watched last night on GB News at 11. It's not like I didn't plug it on Tuesday's show. I think it was all right, actually. I think we got away with it. Last night I did a gig before going there. I think it really helps when I do stand-up before going on the telly, because then I just feel like I'm in the zone. Do you know what I mean? But front page of the Times today, they've got curriculum overhaul will set back social mobility, says Gove. Oh, I got bored reading that headline, so I've not read the article. Lammy snared by latest migrant release blunder. Maybe we'll talk about that in a bit. But let's try and zoom in on this story. Now we've got zoom in technology. We might as well use it. Men's belief in their superior driving fails the crash test. Can we even zoom in even further? Oh, look at this. Well, we can. Oh, look at the zoom. Look at the zoom on this bad boy. Men are not usually shy to boast about their driving skills, but the latest figures suggest they may need to take their foot off the... Oh, Christ, on a bike. Just tell us the results. Look, I thought we already knew this. Men think they're better drivers than they actually are. Women are safer drivers. Women have more accidents at slower speed or something like that, which eventually there's a graph there, isn't there, at which point... If you use some Newtonian physics, you can work out that, you know... Actually, I was queuing on the A1, sat in traffic, and a woman drove into the back of me at such slow speed when we got out of the car and pulled into the side and then looked at it. She actually said, "Oh, I've not even scratched any of the dirt off your bumper." Like, don't be like that. You just driven into the back of me. Just pretend to compliment the car. But anyway, I do... Look, we knew this story. There's no point talking about it. Women are safer drivers. Men, according to what research? None. According to just general vibes, men think they're good at driving. I will say this. As a stand-up comedian who drives all over the country to be on stage for about half an hour, and I always drive more than half an hour away, plus you've got to drive back, I've put more hours into driving than I have being on stage. I'm a better driver than I am a stand-up comedian. That does not necessarily mean I think I'm a good driver. One of my favourite stats about driving is that 90% of drivers think they're above average, which can't be, can it? Because that's not how averages work. But my favourite thing about that is 40% of drivers think they're above average, and they are. That's not bad stats. That's not bad odds, is it? So you never know. Maybe. Well, how do we move on to the front page? Have I zoomed in on all the front pages now? Let's see. Yep, all right. We'll reset this. Look at this zoom technology. The Mirror goes with, not again. Prisons in chaos. Jail crisis is laid bare after 2 more prisoners. Well, there was a stat. Across the space of a year, it was something like 265 prisoners were erroneously released, which actually means that's over 4 a week, isn't it? So the fact that we've only had 3 in the last fortnight is probably pretty good. These headlines have got it all wrong. Wow, look how well we're doing. David Lammy says he was bringing in tougher rules and regulations, which is a low bar to jump over because the regulations were letting 260 people out a year. But look, now we're down to 3 a fortnight. Woohoo! More on that story later. I think there's a couple of prison stories in today's selection. The Express, shocking release of Algerian sex attack convict, but also, and yeah, Chris Hood's a proper tech zoom and everything. Yeah, look at this. We're zooming in on Claudia Twinkle, whatever her name is. Who will win Claudia Celebrity no one cares about? Look at that jacket. Is she dressed as a character from Vickery's Big Night Out? What? Are they airbags? Have you reached the age where you're worried about having a fall and you think, I know what the thing to do is. I'll cushion my ribs. Because I've not watched it. Is that a thing? Is that part of the show that has she been shoplifting? She's reached that age. There you go. And front page of the Sun, I'm megging a movie. You've got to say the word Megan like it's making. I'm megging a movie. I'm making a movie. That's not it. Megan's making a movie. There's the front pages. Do you care? Actress acts. And I suppose she's going back to acting after not doing it for 8 years. Yeah, but also still being on telly and doing some acting. During that Oprah interview, the bit where she said they got married before the marriage, that was acting, and as much as those words weren't real, were they? So there you go. I don't want to do too much part. I don't care enough. Some people really get upset about Meghan, and I have no idea why. Before we move on, we can take another look, see what's happening in. Oh, Joodles is here. Hi, Joodles. Oh, hello. What we all knew forever. You still got those yellow school lights up for you. Yes, if you've missed that episode, I taught my kids that when the school lights flash, it's a warning about mummy drivers. You're right. That was inappropriate for me to call that mummy drivers. The big scary problem on our roads, at the end of the road where the school is, it's mummy parkers that's the problem, isn't it? The driving, at least they head away then. It's the parking ones that... Ugh. The number of times I've been waiting to cross the road, and it's the hesitancy that just annoys me. They kind of semi-pull into the road, and they look for a place to park. So I can't cross because it's a car, and there's no indicators doing anything. But it's not moving, so the kids can't work out why we're not crossing the road. And I'm stood there like an idiot. Chris Hood is here saying, oops, made it. Which is some sort of remake of a Britney thing. Proper Memes is here. Shout out to you. Charlotte's here, who's making the sandwiches earlier. I think we're fully up to date. Up there, which shall not be named. I should have joined in earlier. This sounds like a horror film, says Charlotte. I'm sure it does. 263 sausages were released. That would have sorted out the famine. Zoom, I think Fat Larry Band would be happy, says Charlotte. Tune, we should play that on the radio later. And that's only at Charlotte's house. What's we talking about? What's happening? Twinkleman's fringe fashion statement. It's not even the most shocking thing, the fringe anymore. Hey, look, I can't judge people for fringes, but I can judge you for having padding on your underarms. Mummy parkers are bad because they're wrapped in gauze. Yeah, not that kind of parkers. But anyway, you're up to date. Keep the comments coming in. Let's do the main bits.
Let's get inside the news.
Welcome back. The stuff in the news. Let's see what we've got. Oh, yeah. I found this one today. A deep breath. This is the story of a Croatian man who, in fact, let's zoom in a bit more so I can get the actual thing up there. Look at this, eh? With the technology on this one. This guy who's, I need to zoom in to be able to try and pronounce his name badly. Let's see we are. A Croatian free diver, Vitomir Marecic. It wasn't worth zooming in for, was it? Holds his breath underwater for 29 minutes and 3 seconds. Firstly, that's annoyingly not half an hour, isn't it? Oh. Plus also, what a waste of half an hour. Do you not think? Look, I get it. I get it's a skill to be able to hold your breath, but half an hour. And it's not like you can just do that first attempt. He must have practiced, which is just half an hour wasted all the time. Maybe it's just age thing as well. Like, when you're growing up, you watch Record Breakers and you think, yeah, you're right, dedication's what I need. I'd absolutely love to be in the Guinness Book of Records. And then you realise it kind of means nothing, doesn't it? Because it's not fastest runner, yeah. And then it really tails off after that. Most press-ups, yeah, maybe, whatever. Person who holds their breath the longest, as soon as you get past a few minutes, you're wasting your own time. When I dive, he said, I disconnect from everything. This time I struggled halfway through and thought about quitting. That wasn't struggle, that was sense coming to you, but the lack of oxygen made it go away. His doctor watch, well, you wasted half an hour of doctor's time as well, didn't you? Although I suppose if you can hold your breath for that amount of time, you are one of the few people who can go on the central line and cope with it. So, you know what? I'd take it all back. Wouldn't hold my breath. Vitamir got everything he wanted as a kid. That's a nice idea. As a parent, I wonder how long you'd wait and you get up to that half an hour mark going like, he's done 29 minutes and 3 seconds before. I can hold my breath for 10 minutes, not underwater though. No way. I could do about a minute. And I'm sure it's the boredom, not the lungs, that really kick in first. I can breathe out of my... Chris Hood is like a turtle. Do you know turtles can breathe through their bottoms? I mean, good for them, I guess. Sometimes it smells like there must be a lot of turtles on the central line. You're up to date? Right, back into the news stories. What have we got on this one? The BBC. BBC travel bill up 30% to 18 million. The BBC has splurged more than £80 million on travel and accommodation in 3 years, including a near £500 taxi fare. Ouch. I thought they made TV shows, but it turns out, no. 30% rise, which comes after it was announced the licence fee will be hiked by 180 quid. Look, I don't mind the BBC. I'm not one of these ideologically opposed to it types. But don't cost us money and waste it. Make shows we like. This is why I didn't like the Gary Lineker stuff. I didn't give two hoots about what he tweeted. But the amount of money he was receiving, you could have made like 3 shows. Make more stuff. Have fewer people having their expenses paid. Although having said that, every so often, I go on BBC 5 Live and they do cover my expenses. So they pay for my travel. Look, I'm not an idiot. My travel's important, but theirs isn't. I did it once on Zoom, so I saved you some money. I saved you some money from your license fee. You're welcome, actually. But I just think it's weird that the BBC spends that much money on travel and they no longer do a show called Wish You Were Here. Surely that would have been the big ticket item on the travel bill. Joodles, I swerve making that comment. Oh, hang on, I've got to start higher up then, haven't I? Proper memes, swap screens. That one's been there for ages. That second screen that I can swap to is the one that I have on this screen over here, so I can see the output and a zoom in of the pictures. The reason I don't go to it very often is, if you think about it, it's weird because you see the screen and you see the screen within it. It's too much. Where do I get to? I can hold my breath at lol shut. Is that about the holding the breath? Chris, you must be touching cloth a lot. I wondered if this was going to be one of those highbrow shows, and now I'm glad that I know that it's not. That's why when you really need to go, it's called Turtle Head. Or is it Turtled Head? Joodles, I swerve making that comment, Charlotte, good woman, about the cloth one. Oh, so I see. You're all on the same page about being on the same cloth. And the tortoise are getting curious. Is that the phrase for it? They do the race around the world. They do. Is that what it costs all that money? Oh, well, then I take it back. It makes perfect sense that our money should be wasted on that. Into this story. Here he is. Luke Littler. Ironic name. He's not. Darts ace. Double top for ladies. Luke Littler has been crowned the world's sexiest sportsman. Women? Well done. You might not be that mentally healthy, but we'll take it. The kebab-loving darts world champion beat the likes of people I've kind of heard of. He was given the thumbs up in a poll of 2,000 women by illicitencounters.com. Good. I mean, the actual survey thing's down the bottom. I like it, though. There's some other sports people listed there. Tyson Fury, Lando Norris from Star Wars. And is that the one? Jack, I've not heard of any of these. The Anthony Joshua I've heard of. There you go. I like it, though, because I'm going to file this under There's Hope for Me Yet. Because is that Luke Littler, that one there? Is that him? No. Well, it seems that women, you like a little bit of cushion whilst doing the pushing, don't you? My BMI might not be brilliant, but it's all right like that. But at the same time, I don't have his money or age, so no one walks away from this feeling good about themselves. And I can't play darts. I just look like I probably should be able to. Ladies, what attracted you to the new millionaire Luke Littler? Do you reckon it's a mixture of his money and his probably not living too long, what with... How did two darts guys get into the top 4? And Eric never made it. Bit of Bristow. But can't beat a bit of bully. Is that what you're into? Later on, there's another story about how you women might be struggling. Are you all right? We'll find out. Are you okay with ladies? We'll find out more about that later. Speaking of which, Charlotte mentions the chocolate pocket. Those were the old days. I'm above all those jokes now. Joodles, I adore this wee fella, but if you told me that he was 40, I believe you. Littler. The Littler guy, yeah. And Martin's here as well. Afternoon all, says Martin. Right, keep it all coming. I can play darts. I can't do the maths. Yeah, counting backwards. That is the problem, isn't it? AI will do that for you. What's good in this story? Nah. I should have had some sort of... Oh, I like this one. Should have had some sort of order selected. In Prince Andrew news, Andrew is cul-de-saced. Folk living on Prince Andrew Road say their address is embarrassing and they want to change it. Ugh. I feel extra sorry for whoever lives at like number 17 because it's just doubly as bad, isn't it? What's your favourite number? Do you know what I mean? The Broadstairs Street, I used to live around there, is one of several across the country bearing the name. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was stripped of his title of Prince by King Charles last week following... because of all that stuff. Andrew has always denied wrongdoing. Yeah, I can see how you don't want to live on that Prince Andrew Road. Then again, there must have been other Prince Andrews in the past. It's not actually named after him, is it? It's like the thing about him being the Duke of York. He's not the only one of... He doesn't have the title, but he could give it to someone else. Someone else will get it at some point. There was that headline about the fact that he apparently had 40 sex workers sent to his room in Thailand. That's nothing. I once heard he had 10,000 men. Big numbers. That had to wipe me out as well. This story. Scooter OAP in fast lane. An elderly man was spotted cruising along a busy dual carriageway in his mobility scooter. Dashcam footage shows the driver overtaking a slow-moving lorry. Fair play. If you're overtaking, there's something in it. I've always had a problem with these mobility scooters. For a short time, I was living in Whittam and I was trying to go for a run. I'm not good at running. That's why it's the sports thing that I do, because it means I sweat straight away and it should make me healthy. And I got overtaken by someone. I was running so slowly, I was overtaken by someone in a mobility scooter. You're cheating. You're the absolute cheat. Around where I live, when I do the drop-off for the kids in the mornings, there's a guy in a wheelchair, and we're talking like absolutely normal wheelchair, just proper good old-fashioned NHS style, big 2 penny farthings, isn't it, really? 2 small wheels, big wheels. And to it, he has attached some sort of electric motor, and he goes whizzing down the actual road, not the streets, not the pavements. You just hear, and he goes whizzing down so fast. And there's literally nothing you can say to him. It does not look safe, but what are you going to shout? Like, be careful, you'll end up in a... You know what I mean? He's got you there. He's absolutely got you there. See what's happening in the comments. Definitely not okay, says Charlotte. Not sure what we're talking about. Probably touching cloth by the looks of it. Where's Ems? We might need a shoulder to shoulder whatever's coming. What's happening? I bet you are waiting with bated breath, Doodles. Are we still talking about other stuff, or are we waiting for Ems to get here? And Hot Wheels. He's probably got a tattoo that says that, I imagine. Right. What else have we got? Let's do this one now. I was putting this off because I was worried it's a bit too rude. Sex guru classes arouse concern. Good headline, that one, because it sneaks in the word arouse. Well done. A Briton has been arrested for allegedly teaching sex yoga classes. Look, all yoga is sex yoga, if you're brutally honest about it, innit? If you do it wrong, if you do it wrong enough, anything is sex anything. Maria, no idea, 40, was detained in front of customers on a hippie island of Koh Phangan in Thailand on Tuesday. She's said to have taught tantric massage and sacred sexuality for clients for £9 a session. It's £12.50 for instant coffee in my Tesco. Why? I mean, she might be arrested for many crimes, but not daylight robbery. Imagine. Here's the thing, right? She charges £9 for tantric yoga. I pay £12.50 for instant coffee. If anything, ironically, Tesco must have seen me coming. That's probably all the jokes we need on that one, isn't it? I think I've covered everything there. Yeah. Oh, the reason she got arrested is it's not part of her work visa. I don't know. Fair enough. Good luck to you. There was some other thought I had about some other part of the story, but all of it, I was thinking, oh, should we even do that story? I guess we got there. Ems is here. Hi. I'm here just trying to work too. Well, good. Glad someone's working, because trust me, the amount of money coming in on my Ko-fi, I am not adding to the GDP of this nation. Let's moan about men. Gandhi, TV diss to men. Model David Gandhi has complained that blokes are mocked on TV. And straight away my response was, shut, you don't know, you're a model. Your life must be an absolute dream. But he makes the point that when you do anything like TV adverts and TV shows, if you're portraying anyone as an idiot, you'll always portray the bloke as the idiot because you don't want to get in trouble. It's like that. Was it Dove that got the complaint upheld about their advert? They used someone with dark skin in the before picture when there was dry skin, and the after was lighter skin. And the complaint was upheld, saying it was perpetuating stereotypes that there's a problematic nature to dark skin. But all you've done is meant that there's only one type of skin you can ever say is problematic. Same thing here, that if you have the women being an idiot in an advert, someone will complain. So you only ever make it the men as an advert. And I once did a big deep dive sketch into a Boots advert. This was like 2011 or something. It's the advert where the two women, they're lousy with colds. And they meet up, they're like, oh, how you doing? And they're all snotty. Oh, I'm fine, thanks, how are you? Oh, I've got to drop the kids off and we've got to go and stay with Bill's mum and we've got to go in this. Oh, how is Bill anyway? Oh, he's in bed because he got a cold. Right, we get it. Yeah. Apart from, you're flipping super spreaders. Literally, that advert is about someone who's ill and went to bed to get over it before spreading it to everyone versus two people acting like martyrs spreading disease. Flu kills old people. Well done. Boots, if that is your real name. Not sure what's happening in the comment section, but £9 is a bargain. Charlotte, I'll agree with you there. I wonder if that's the full works included. I've no idea. I mean, I imagine she's flexible because she teaches yoga. Did it include? I don't think. Can I say that? I wonder what kind of visa you need for it. Probably, I'm sure she accepts cash as well as Visa. That was Louis Schaefer getting a message in the comment section. He's not here, is he? Have you ever? I bet he's got something to say about super spreaders. In fact, you know what? I'll tell you who else is a super spreader. That woman who teaches yoga, because they're better hips. Knew it would be a bad idea to include that story in this show that early. That's now going to be my running joke, because I know how my brain works. Food fans can get new truffle garlic butter dough balls. What if you drop food down you? Probably part of the yoga thing. As part of a festive menu at Pizza Express. I normally wouldn't do stories that just plug a company, but fair play to them. I want them to do an advert that uses CNC Music's Factory Gonna Make You Sweat. But come on. I would start eating their dough balls. Sounds like more of a nickname. Oh, here we are. Get this one in there. In case you want to read the whole story later, press pause. But a glam probation officer was allegedly caught having a fling with a lag. at a maximum security prison, the court's heard. I mean, the court case might still be going on, but there won't be a jury in this, will they? I don't know. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to say things about it. The point is, women, I don't think you're well. I mean, it's not the first case we've heard of a female prison officer having relations with an inmate. And it's not surprising. I think we've even addressed this issue before because women, you write to people on death row. Not all of you, mainly because the Postal Service wouldn't handle it. But what is it? Look, we men obviously have our own problems going on, but some women, right? But I know you're like a bad boy. You don't have to like literally find one. What's the baddest boy? Oh, someone on death row. Let's write to them. And I think it's because the lengths some women will go to make sure their partner doesn't cheat on them. They want them to be locked up with just other men and also not have long to live. So you've got to watch out for it. But I do think, seeing as the other stories we've been talking about a lot of all of these escapee prisoners who are being just let out of prison, we need someone who can work in the prison service who actually pays attention to which prisoners are there. And I just think if this person or if any of these female prison officers turned up one day and their inmate with benefits wasn't there, at least they'd report it. So maybe we need more of this. Coming to her defense. If ever I get sent to prison, I want her to be my prison guard. How is she at yoga? That's an interesting one. Too big to really fit in. I think we'll try and do it. Grape escape. An elderly cyclist who plunged 130 foot down down a ravine survived for 3 days by drinking wine. Unsurprisingly, if you read ahead, he's French. Mais oui. The unnamed, we can't remember his name after that, 77-year-old was on his way home, fell down there. The bottles didn't break, well done. But also he's French, probably landed deliberately so as to protect the wine. Ma vin. Mon vin. I don't know. And, he just sat there. I bet probably when he was rescued 3 days later, I bet he said, like, you put me back. And I was a great time down here. And the problem is, if you're drinking on an empty stomach and all you've got is wine, I imagine that if on those rare moments his mobile phone did get reception, he probably just like sent a text to an ex. Didn't call 999 or whatever it is there. Nerf. Probably, I think that's one of the wines. He probably just went, wow, I love you. It's not great for him. I thought I was going to do more about the prison thing. Let's have a look. I've got more of the prison stories. Oh, yeah. Yep. Here it is. Oh, we're doing more prison stuff. Freeing lags is criminal. Police claim there could be a 6% rise in crime if government plans to cut the number of shorter prison sentences and release some criminals earlier. Go ahead. Yeah. Who would have thought letting criminals out might mean more criminals are out? And what do criminals do, almost by definition? Crime? I can see this. But also, you might as well let them, because even if you're not letting people out, you're accidentally letting people out. It's not as if these people would still stay in prison. We have a system that seems to be based on letting people out. For either because the prisons are so full, and if you stopped erroneously letting them out, they'd be fuller, so you'd still have to let them out through that. Just let them out. I only think that the only downside to just letting criminals out all the time, obviously crime, but we seem to be getting that anyway, is it would just make the film Shawshank Redemption just not believable anymore. Do you know what I mean? It would ruin it. I think you'd end up having a version that was about 5 minutes long, just a little bit of voiceover. My old friend, and I need to get closer to the mic for this. My old friend, Andy Dufresne, was released. The end. There you go. That's it for prison news. Let's see what's in the comment section. Jules having a laugh. Pizza Express festive menu, also known as the Prince Andrew special. Did I do my joke on here? I've been doing it. I did the new material things about going to the dentist with a Prince Andrew. I lost a crown. Let's have a look what's going on here. Proper Meme says, I heard it through the Great Ravine. I think we've set a new record for the types of puns we can get away with on this show. And hope he recycled the bottles. Yes, you're right, Proper Memes. That is the biggest issue in that news story. Slags. That's a good warm-up, isn't it? Beautifully done, says Doodles. To whom? And more impressions. More impressions. This story requires not as good as my Morgan. And if you were watching GB News last night, I got to my Frankie Howard, which, let's be honest, is not well practiced because that does not need to come out very often. But we were talking about David Lammy's ill-fitting suit. I remembered Frankie Howard often would leave the suit buttoned up and then do this with his arm so it kind of rattles in. Oh, don't. So I got to say "oh, don't" a few times on TV last night. That was nice. But there we are. Famke in Bond Girl Fear. Famke Jensen feared being a Bond girl could ruin her career. Fair enough, I guess. She was cast as Xenia Onatop opposite Piers Brosnan. She had reservations about it. It could have easily failed. She said, "I thought Bond girl was such a demeaning term. But I thought if I do this, I'm going to do it all the way." Yeah, I'm sure Onatop would. And so I came up with a lot of the things that are now in the film because I wanted to make a memorable character, not play her the way she was written. You're right. This is about empowerment. This is like female empowerment. Bond girl. Oh, you don't want to be just a Bond girl. This is effectively feminism. And your character name again, Xenia Onatop. You're really moving the, what's that, seventh wave feminism by the time you do that? It strikes me that you didn't move the dial that much when it comes to roles of women in Bond films. Your name, what were the other names they dismissed before they went with Onatop? It's a bit much, isn't it? Xenia Doggy. No, I suppose. Pay attention, 007. We need you to work with some new Bond girls. Yes. It's not quite an impression, is it? It's just making a noise. Well, we need you to work with the new agent from India, Sita. And her surname? Sit upon my face. Sounds like my kind of girl. Anyone else? Well, from Russia, there's Pera. Yes. Pera Krakennorks. That would have been a good name. And from Japan, we're working with a new agent called On Lee. Yes. Only Fans. I suppose they wouldn't have done that one back then. Steve for the new Bond. Yes. Thank you, Doodles. I thoroughly agree. What was the story? We didn't cover it on this show. Idris Elba says he knows he won't be the new Bond, even though he's the name that always gets talked about, because he's too old. He's 53 or something, which I'm not that far. I'm a handful of years behind it, I suppose. But I think you're missing the joy of those View to a Kill style Bond films where Roger Moore was so past it. It wasn't just the noise he was doing. That's the noise he was making when he was trying to like sit down. And I think seeing him in, I don't know how old he was, like 60 or something, pretending to do judo with Grace Jones. That level where you're so out of shape, you just have to have the actor just do this, and the person they're fighting flips over. That's what we want in a Bond film. It was him forgetting his lines. Something about gold. Anyway, where do we get to in the comments? Gotta go. Cheers all. Oh, Martin's off. You're not helping my watch hours, are you? I saw your Frankie Howard impression on telly last night. Almost choked on your tea. You get through a lot of tea, Charlotte. Well done. Decaf at that time of night as well. I'll have to go and catch up, says Doodles to Charlotte. I just did it. Oh, don't. That's all I did. All Strictly, says Chris. I don't think I'd be any good on Strictly, but that's kind of the point, isn't it? More Steve, Roger Moore. What? Who's done? Which one's more? What should I do more of? Well, Steve does look like Jason Statham. Bald. I'll take that. But even on the side cam, I'm a big man, but I'm out of shape. For him, it's a full-time job. And OMG, Chris, can you imagine? Just not X Factor. No, I think that is the one for me, Charlotte. I think I should be singing. We've not had any Jason Statham side cams yet. You are not a salmon. All right, there you go. This story. Wuthering Heights of Passion, York Lovers. Look, York Lovers last. That's a weird word for a headline because it could mean last or last, like continue beyond duration. There's duration, permanence, or bottom of the pole, which actually is another weird thing when it comes to sex surveys. None of our language is set up for this. The Randiest Britons live in Yorkshire and Humber. Is that what they do? Oh, no, I see. Those in the southwest are next, but Scots romp the least. Well, it is cold up there. And it's not great stats, because I don't know where I live. It's not even on the list. But this is the weird thing. The poll found that those living in sight of the moors now have sex at least for an average of 34 minutes a week. In Scotland, it's just 15. The stats about like the list, the league table, I didn't mind, but I don't want details of the time. Now I've got images of Norris McWhirter stood there with a stop clock. Dedication's what you need. Nope, hold your breath for half an hour. That guy can hold his breath for longer than most people. Rumpy pump pump pump. Car, the hide of your life. Half of drivers admit they've hidden in their car to get some precious peace and quiet. A poll of 2,000 people found that 13% have done it to get away from their partner, 8% to dodge the in-laws, and 12% to avoid the kids. It's the same story, just told slightly 3 different ways. And of course you have. Of course. With the new 3p pence per mile tax coming in for electric vehicle drivers, I'm screwed. Because I'm going to end up going for drives, taking the long way. Like when our first one was born, when I come back from gigs, I wouldn't necessarily pick the quickest route the sat-nav was saying, put it that way. I might go a slightly longer way. That's going to cost me a lot of money. But Paul Ray of Halfords, which carried out the poll, said the car has become a vital sanctuary for millions across the country. Yeah, shouldn't be, should it? Your home should be where you're allowed to have peace and quiet. If you have to decamp to the car, it's not right. And I say this as someone who's definitely had to do that. But if you are, if you ever have new kids around, these Wi-Fi baby cams are great because that means you can see if the kids are asleep or not as soon as you park. Park up the road, see if the kid's awake. If he is, maybe you're still driving. If he's asleep, then you can sneak upstairs and get some sleep. Not that I did that, but not that I didn't not do that. Only one story left. Waiting for Steve to break out, yelling, "Are you not entertained?" Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, who was it who left? Martin clearly wasn't. Humper side cam. That's right. And didn't see Middlesbrough on there again. You wouldn't, would you? Do they romp in Middlesbrough? If you're up there, are you up there, Ems? If not, go up there, will you? Do a bit of research for us. Go up there, 007, find out what happens. Don't come back. Joodle's Paul Ray, who carried out the poll. Well, I guess someone needed help lifting it. Paper mile will kill the solitude of men. You're right. There's only one other place that men get solitude, and that's pretending that we need to do really long dumps. We don't, but it's a place it's a door that you lock from the inside. It's the only place you get that, and the fact that the reason I gave blood last Friday, it's the only time I get 10 minutes uninterrupted without someone, oh, can you fix this for me? Oh, can you don't forget to take the bin out? Just, what do you want, blood? And then you go, wait a minute, they do want blood. I'll go and give blood. You're up to, I gave blood, by the way. Still waiting, checking local press to see if anyone's either died from tainted blood or miraculously recovered from something. Do you know this? When you do you get an email a few days after giving blood that just gives you your test results. So, in case you're interested, I do not have syphilis. Thank you. It's not the only reason I give blood, but it's just nice to know, isn't it? And final story then. Kim Kardashian. A top space boff wants Kim Kardashian to help research the alien spaceship hurtling across the solar system because she posted about it on Instagram, and now someone at Harvard wants to work with her. That story again. Don't bother going to school, kids, because that's not the way to become a successful educationalist, an academic. Just do whatever one of those videos. That's actually got famous, isn't it? Do one of their videos, and the next thing you know, you'll be invited to check out the interstellar anomaly known as 3I over Atlas. Because she posted on social media, what's the T on 3I Atlas? I bet that was really, I'm glad she's on it. That'll solve it. Then again, put a few pictures of her involved. The aliens might actually turn up to see what's going on. Fair enough. Good point, well made. Listen, I think we're about out of time. The Shed, Solitude, of course. The Shed of Solitude, my fortress of solitude. This is where we are broadcasting from. The lighting is quite actual fortress of solitude as well. Half of this could be crystals, you don't know. And what else have we got? I have a really long Thursday coming up after this, as Charlotte, so I really needed these laughs. Well, good luck to you. I after this, because I only got like 3 hours sleep because I was on telly till late, I have a very short Thursday coming up because I'm going to be asleep soon, which is why we don't have to do... Can't have any caffeine right now. NASA will study if they can find any intelligent life in Kim's planet, says Proper Memes. They won't, will they? They really won't. Thank you for all your comments and stuff. Before we move on too much further, of course, we get to plug what's going on in my illustrious career. For that, I believe we need this.
Here are the plugs where you can see Steve and Helen all this week.
Do some plugs. Oh, no, that's the Bond Girl jokes. It's time to plug it. My old friend, Andy Dufresne. Friday, I'll be performing the stand-up comedy in Willingham, which we've now worked out is in Cambridgeshire. Thank you for the research there. Saturday, I'll be on Times Radio, 5:30 p.m, doing a review of the news. Me talking about the news. Could you imagine such a thing? What I will say is I try and do this. They always send more stories than we get to talk about. I'll try and type up some of the ones and get it on my Substack, / whatever it is. And Joodle says this is my fave thing. Well, I'm glad you like this bit of the show. I work so hard on the other bits, but this, no, that's fine. That's fine. On Saturday, I'm in London emceeing a gig at the Comedy Carnival at the Conduit. I have no idea where that is, but Google, I'm sure, will help me. And other stuff? Nah, I'm sure there's probably some other stuff. That's it. A quiet week then. Thumb it, like it. If you've enjoyed the show, click the thumbs thing, subscribe, smack your bell, all those other phrases that we've often looked into. And what? So there is, go to substack.com / at Mr. Stephen Allen. I wrote up some of the stuff from last night's show, just me moaning about the paper mile thing. And I'll try and get some more on there on the weekend from the Times Radio extra stuff. They always say like 8 stories and we get to talk about 3. So I'll type some of those up. The newspaper columns are available in various newspapers. The Romford Recorder, the Hackney Gazette, the Islington Gazette. I'm one of them, they're Metropolitan Elites. I mean, no one's ever said that or proved it or given me any of the benefits of that, but I just think I am. If I'm writing a newspaper column in Islington, I'm one of the problems. And it's on other places. Subscribe on social media. And I think that's about it. I really feel like I should be doing more. Oh, tomorrow. I don't know. I'd got the offer of a corporate gig which fell through, so I wasn't going to be doing a show tomorrow, but it does mean that maybe I'm available, so we might end up doing one of those live streams that's a Friday loose one, which I know sounds like I'm describing a stool, but it might be one of those with not that many stories and just more chit-chat going on. Speaking of which, Sinful Charlotte's had an LSD trip. Well, looks like it's made your day easier, hasn't it? BW rolling credits, black and white. Yeah, we should actually do that. I need a thing that comes up at the end that just says fa. Obviously, I'm going to have to fit the vowel sound E in there somewhere, aren't I? Chris Hood says YouTube channel. Yes, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Do you know I'm on YouTube? Freaky Friday Live and Loose, says Proper Memes. Is that what we're going to call it? Freaky Friday is I'd have to swap personality with the other people on the show. I'm not like that film. I don't like the idea of that. The actual Freaky Friday, I think if you were temporarily in someone's body for a while, you get up to no good. You know, you get up to absolutely no good. If it weren't your fingerprints you were leaving, oh dear, I'd be doing some stuff. And right, we're up to date. Thank you for all of your comments. You got the credits at the start from Proper Memes. Thank you for that. We'll do some of the old ones to play us out. And until tomorrow, probably. If not, the actual proper thing will be Tuesday. And until then, have a good one.